Chapter 11, Your Best Investment, Giving Back. When the pandemic hit our world, every country around the globe reacted differently. Pakistan's approach was to enact a countrywide shutdown, which meant that all its workers were sent home. Essentially, no one was allowed to earn a living. Many of the already impoverished people there rapidly ran out of food. They no longer had the resources to take care of their basic necessities of life. I'm not exaggerating when I say that people were literally starving and dying in the streets. One man whose family felt the total weight of the crisis was Murad, his wife Rasham, and their toddler daughter Roya. While Goodwill volunteers were distributing food in the slums of Pakistan, Murad approached them and asked, "Do you want to buy my daughter for $710? She is 2.5 years old." Surprised and frankly a bit shocked, they told him no. Murad then turned to his little girl and shouted, "You are a curse on us. From the time you were born, we are suffering. I wish you would have died in the day your mother gave birth to you." Precious little Roya started crying as her father started screaming, unable to understand why her daddy seemed so angry with her. The volunteers asked Murad why he was saying these things and why he wanted to sell his daughter, and for such a specific sum. He told them that he needed the money to pay for the freedom of Roya's mother, Rasham. She was taken by their landlord after the family fell behind in their rent during 2020 when Murad was unable to work. The amount of $710 was 3 months' worth of rent. The landlord had given Murad just 1 week to obtain the funds. Otherwise, he would sell Murad's wife to a brothel to repay the debt. During the wait, the landlord held Rasham hostage in chains. It's painful to even imagine the horror Rasham must have felt and the corresponding despair, grief, and anger felt by her husband. Murad told them, "I wish I could sell myself, but no one wants me. To save my wife, I have to sacrifice our only daughter." Murad's plan was to sell his little girl into the sex trade for enough to cover his debts. Lose his wife or lose his daughter. It was a no-win situation for this man and his family. When Colin and I found out about their desperate circumstances, we didn't hesitate. For us, and frankly so many other Americans and others worldwide, $710 is not a sum that we would miss. On the final day of her captivity before Rasham was to be sold, the missionaries we were working with showed up at the front door of the landlord's home to pay for her release. The young mother was in shock. She had no idea that she was about to be set free and would be able to hug her husband again and hold her little girl in her arms. She had braced for the worst, but soon realized that she would soon be reunited with her loved ones. My wife and I weren't there to witness that moment, but we had no doubt that it was something to behold. For less than $2,000, we changed the course of a family's life forever. We also decided to pay for an additional 3 months of rent prepayment to give Murad time to start working again. That is a lot of good for very little money in the scheme of things. That little family will never know who we are or even where the funds came from. And that doesn't matter to me in the slightest. I don't give for the sake of recognition. I don't give to pay it forward. I give literally because I feel called to give back. In fact, it's my most significant and most decisive calling in life, and the real reason I created the Financial Freedom Roadmap. While I've continued to increase my income year after year, our lifestyle has not changed one bit over the last decade. However, because of the Financial Freedom Roadmap laid out in this book, we're making more money than ever. Years ago, we reached a point where all of our needs were met, and we lived a very comfortable life. And if my kids needed something, we could buy it without hesitation. So the question for my wife and I became, why pursue more? Don't we have enough? And the answer was, yes, we do have enough. So our mission then became to earn more so that we could give more and inspire others to give as well. It's time to earn your wings. Our life's impact has become making an impact that matters. One of the most beautiful parts of becoming wealthy is that you do have the opportunity to transition from being more selfish to more selfless. True fulfillment comes when you move from the selfish life to the selfless life. In a selfish life, You only make enough money for you and your financial needs and wants. A selfless life happens when you follow these financial freedom rules long enough to produce more money than your own needs require. You then have the means to impact other people. Instead of all of your financial goals and aims being self-centered, you reach a point where there's so much more money that the purpose of playing the game is now about other people. And that's when you shift into legacy thinking. When you're dead and gone and your name is forgotten, what footprint will be left on this planet? Legacy thinking isn't concerned with making sure your family's name lives on, ensuring that your name is on a plaque somewhere. It's about impacting people, not just while you're alive, but long after you're gone. Impacting others and changing lives is what the final step in the roadmap is all about. I want to revisit this financial freedom roadmap one more time. You're going to go to work reserving a percentage of your income, and hopefully it becomes 20% or more. You're going to put that in your financial reserve vehicle with all the perks and benefits. And you're waiting to strategically deploy it into the next 4 investment vehicles. It's your double-digit passive investment vehicle through real estate. It's your triple-digit ROI vehicle through asymmetric risk. It's your quadruple-digit ROI through active income made through business. And it's your infinite ROI through strategic partnerships. In the last chapter, we added that there will never be a greater ROI than personal growth. It is the ultimate ROI. But now, at the very end of the roadmap, the reason why we build all this wealth and the reason why we allow our investments to convert into passive income and then reinvest it into more and get this flywheel moving is so that there's more than enough, certainly for your needs, but it also means that by virtue of having more money, you also have more to give. Giving back is the final and incalculable ROI. And in the end, it's the one that matters the most. The angel wings on the roadmap represent the final and most critical investment, giving to charity. Giving away 10% or more of your income to others is an investment without a price tag or an ROI. It's genuinely priceless because it's an investment into the world that can't be measured in a traditional sense. How I plan to change the world. When you study the wealthy, you'll notice that they've discovered how to make the most out of their wealth. And not just through investment vehicles they use to create impressive ROIs for more investments, they've mastered how to use their money for good. When the wealthy set up a charitable foundation, those organizations represent a conduit for changing the world. The purpose of a foundation is so that after you die, the executor of your trust can keep the foundation alive and continue to grow it through healthy ROIs and additional contributions. This means that from one generation to the next, the foundation's impact should only increase. So let me ask you this. When you become wealthy by following this roadmap, how are you going to change the world? I know how I'm doing it. My foundation, the Krohn Breakthrough Foundation, invests liberally into creating and cultivating a whole person. And this requires a particular emphasis on emotional freedom and self-empowerment. My foundation offers emotional intelligence training and certified breakthrough work for those experiencing emotional distress. We teach people how to break free from their past, create a better future, and discover their purpose. Here's our mission. We heal the brokenhearted by bringing breakthrough and emotional intelligence to the world. I hold emotional intelligence at a higher status than academic knowledge. Lack of emotional intelligence is the primary culprit that keeps people from making good choices. In fact, behind every poor choice with a negative consequence is simply a limiting belief or a misunderstanding based on a lack of emotional intelligence. When we created the Krohn Breakthrough Foundation, I knew we had created something extraordinary. We've been blessed to work with individuals from all walks of life, and we actively strive to partner with teachers across the country. Our certification program trains educators to help children overcome their limiting beliefs that hurt them or lead them to low self-esteem. This allows kids to just be kids, to better experience the joys of childhood and build up their self-esteem. We endeavor to instill in the next generation the confidence to tackle life's peaks and valleys. Our foundation also has a special heart for rehabilitating young women who have experienced the horrifying evils of human trafficking. We work to help them emotionally release their haunting memories and ultimately find peace, happiness, and healing. You can find out more about our foundation by visiting KrohnBreakthrough.org. Our foundation also seeks to find the sick, the afflicted, the hungry, those with real, palpable, gut-wrenching problems like Murad and his wife and daughter. We feed and clothe those who are in need. That's the mission that we feel called to follow. And the conduit that made all that possible is also what fueled this book, and you now hold it in your hands. So why am I telling you this? Why have I held nothing back in giving you the most successful financial roadmap that I have? Can you imagine if you and others that read this book solve the social problems that you feel called to? This is the mission that empowers me to want to have it all. Have it all means that you've become the most generous giver that you can possibly be. I also feel called to help other people find a why for giving back that makes each gift more meaningful and fulfilling. One of my mentors, Robert G. Allen, taught me that the famous pay it forward idea is actually twisted. The belief that we should give in hopes that karma or the universe will remember us on its way back around is really backwards. Here's the truth that fosters a genuine giving spirit. We give because we've already been paid in full. Don't give to get. Don't give to create karma. Those are lovely ideas on the surface. However, what motivates someone who truly has it all is legacy thinking. And no, it's not about people remembering your name or even what you did. It's about people feeling the impact of your contributions for generations, whether or not they ever know who you are or who helped them. Give with the servant's attitude, and it keeps you humble. It also saves you from giving for any self-serving reasons. Some studies have shown that altruistic giving, whose unselfish giving with no desire for recognition or reward, simply doesn't exist. I respectfully disagree. Give to give, and for no other reason than people need you. They need me, and we need each other. Give because you've already been paid in full. This is how we express gratitude for everything that we've received. Ready for breakthrough? This is not a token chapter. This is not fluff. So first and foremost, kudos to you for recognizing that a whole person is more than his or her bank account. Passionate human beings who contribute to their fellow man care about emotional intelligence as much as they care about financial intelligence. Both are important. I have found many meaningful ways to give back through the years. I've given back in the form of mission work and financial support for organizations, nonprofits, and of course my own foundation. I've also poured an untold amount of time and resources into my children's lives and the lives of other young people. I'm also blessed to have the means to provide my parents with the ability to retire in peace. Many people believe that the time for being philanthropic only comes after you're rich, but that is simply not true. Here's the truth. The person you become in the process of building wealth is the person that you will be once you have it. Don't have money to give? Yes, you do. In today's world, a small amount of money has the power to create a meaningful impact. People are starving on the other side of the world where literally 30 cents buys a meal. I know because I've seen it firsthand. And don't forget that you have time and you have talents to offer that can actually be even more meaningful than the money itself. Give before you are wealthy and you will experience an enduring kind of fulfillment. Give before you are wealthy because in so many ways, you are already rich. Your heart pumps, your lungs take in oxygen, and your eyes and ears experience the things around you. In other words, you've already been blessed, so give in gratitude. And as you become wealthier, the more you will have to give. To date, the resources I have shared with others have created so many of my life's most precious memories. It all started with wanting to take care of my parents in retirement. For over 10 years, I have paid their bills, sent them on trips, and made sure that they've had the resources to live a truly beautiful life. If you dream about being a generous giver, then the time to make that happen is now. I've practiced this from the beginning, and it's one of the reasons I feel immensely connected with the world. It also makes me a better husband, father, entrepreneur, leader, and mentor. In chapter 10, I said that the point of life isn't to find the greenest pasture. Instead, work to leverage the true power of money by using it to achieve something greater than yourself outside of your own pasture. No one has ever found lasting fulfillment in having more stuff. At the final curtain call, what will matter is not a return on a financial investment, but the return you receive on investing in others' lives. As Tony Robbins says, the secret to living is giving. Suppose you seek to build wealth only for security, travel, and a few other indulgences. In that case, it makes all of your aims and achievements about you. Those who live for personal gain tend to be the most miserable human beings on the planet. Wayne Dyer once said that which means so much to you in the spring of your life will hold very little meaning in the fall of your life. A time will come when possessions hold less meaning and relationships become paramount. You may already be there, or it may not happen until you are much further along, but make no mistake, it will happen. You can avoid the sting of regret by investing in others during all stages of life. Maybe you haven't created your wealth yet, and that's why you're reading this book. The fact that you're reading this right now and didn't stop after the How to Make More Money chapters tells me everything that I need to know about you. You are destined to leave a lasting legacy in the world. And it starts by using the vehicles in this book to amass enough wealth to make a colossal lasting impact. Just remember to give every single step along the way to financial freedom, not only at the final destination. For less than $2,000, we kept a family together. That is money well spent. We kept a family together for less than the cost of a family vacation. That money may mean little to me, but that investment meant everything else in the grand scheme of what really matters. Guys, that is something. And there are countless other opportunities like that one to give a little to make a life-changing impact. If you'd like to awaken your financial genius so that you too can pour into the lives of others, don't wait. Start today. If you don't have the financial means, then give your time, your skill sets, or even your sweat equity. You will never ever be sorry that you did. Ever. Checkpoint 11. Number 1, the call to give back is my most powerful calling in life, and it's what compelled me to complete the roadmap to financial freedom in this book. Takeaway number 2, giving to others is what earns your angel wings on this side of heaven. A life lived for others is a beautiful thing indeed. Number 3, don't give because you want the universe to return the favor. Give because you've already been paid in full. Takeaway number 4, there is no reason to wait until you're wealthy to give. The person you become in the process of building your wealth is the person you will be after you have it. Takeaway number 5, the secret to having it all is not a secret. Live a selfless life and you will feel and experience what it's like to live life to its fullest. And finally, number 6, donations of your money, time, and energy, no matter the size, can have a massive lifelong impact. When you give with the right motivation, you will change the world.